Go ahead, just give me your name.
Julie Wooten.
Julie Wooten?
W-O-O-T-T-E-N.
W-O-O-T-T-E-N.
Correct.
Wooten, Julie.
Correct.
Thank you, Julie. Okay, we're at the Fannin County Courthouse where there's an animal activist protest happening right now. And it looks like we have about 25, we'll say that, and growing. Would somebody like to tell me, like, all right, what are we doing here today?
We're basically here because we want Fannin County to start enforcing their own ordinance. We're not looking to have your hunting dogs taken away. We're not looking to have your pets taken away. All we're looking at is the dogs that are left to starve on logging chains, no food or water. We would like something to be done on those, as well as the dogs that are roaming because they're killing our animals. And so we're trying to get that stopped because we don't feel that we should have to continue with the vet bills because somebody wants to use the term of it's how we've always done it.
Okay, so when you say that, like what ordinances, what ordinances are they not enforcing? Which ones? Who was it? You was?
I had it, but I can't remember. Section 7.1. Helping to, you know, the basic necessities of life. Decent shelter. According to John Drulinger, our manager at Fannin County Animal Control, a tarp is fine. Just a tarp will serve the purpose. He thinks a doghouse is a source of heat. I'd like to see him at home with no heat, sitting in his bedroom, and see how warm he stays during the bitter winter cold. He seemed to think that a little mat, like a doormat, was sufficient to keep a dog in Epworth warm during 17-degree weather. That was good enough. I had to call 911 to get him to act, to get him to take some, and I offered to pay for it, wheat straw, some food, some water, anything he could do, because these people have habitually, over the last decade, they have neglected and abused dogs. They are literally wasting away at the end of a chain and no one will do anything to help them. I bought one with the help of PETA, paid $140 for it, saved its life. Well, I want to ask you to, I made a little video, A Junkyard Dog No More. It's a YouTube video, April Boyer Morgan, A Junkyard Dog No More. It's a little 7-minute video, and the video isn't much, but the narrative tells this dog's story, and it continues a decade now. I went to Animal Control, no response. I went to the Board of Commissioners. I was told, April, they're just dogs. I went to the sheriff. I shamed him into making a visit to that place because I reminded him of his pledge to Second Chance Animal Sanctuary when he was running for office initially. Said he would take animal abuse and neglect in Fannin County seriously. Well, obviously he didn't. And I asked him, you know, he told me he would get back to me and let me know what he found. So a week later, I sent him an email requesting a copy of the report. He calls me at work and says, I won't be writing a report. I said, why not? He said, well, it's not an ideal situation for a dog, but it's not against the law. It is against the law. They just don't bother to enforce it. James, how many citations have been written by Fannin County Animal Control in the past year?
In 2018, they wrote one citation that's in the magistrate court books. In 2016 and 2017, there were 0 citations written.
What ordinances do you want to change, or which ones do you
want? We want these enforced first, and then we'll look in. The longer we wait. The
thing that has to be done is it doesn't do any good to change an ordinance when they're not following the ordinances already on the books. Right. But the ones that are on the books that they're not enforcing is that they're allowing the dogs to roam that are becoming a nuisance to neighbors and even people as far as a mile away. A lot of these same dogs are showing up at animal control, and then it's the same dogs that are out all the time, but yet it's almost like a free boarding facility at this point. On top of that, in the ordinance, for the things to change, if you look in the ordinance, it states on the length of a chain, it's up to the discretion of the animal control officer. So if he feels a 2-foot chain is fine, then there's no problem with that. The other problem with that is logging chains, they're allowed. And we've actually got a chain that somebody had brought that was actually embedded in the neck of a dog in McKaysville, animal control didn't do anything. But I think the one thing that I have found through all of this that's been most surprising to me, I did an open records request. Do you know that in Fannin County for their animal control, they have 0 job descriptions and they have 0 policies and procedures? I don't understand how a county-run department cannot know what they're doing, and there's nothing, we can't come and say, well, you're not following this procedure when there's nothing even on file for it. So that's kind of like our big complaint, is just follow the ordinances that are there. But when I met with Stan Helton last week, he told me that this is how it's always been. They don't want to write fines or, you know, tell their friends what they're doing wrong when he's grown up here.
What say you? I mean, Fannin County is a rural county, and people have had their dogs for years. And what say you if it comes up, hey, these are my hunting dogs, I've raised hunting dogs my whole life, it's my property, don't bother me and my hunting dogs. What say you where something like that's concerned, where maybe people feel that some things want to be done where they're concerned on their private property?
We're not concerned with that.
The ordinances don't say that.
We're
the
not
ordinances
concerned.
doesn't say anything about hunting dogs can be hunted and they can roam loose to breed. It doesn't say that. It says, number one, if it's a female in heat, that it can't roam. A male with testicles can roam, and therefore they're not enforcing what needs to be done. And in the concept of that, it also says that they shall be in a doghouse that's taken care of, maintained. This is what Fannin County Animal Control considers a legal doghouse. A legal doghouse. This dog on this chain right here, now these are Fannin County dogs. This dog on this chain right here, they consider that okay.
But for hunting dogs, the hunting dogs aren't the issue. They're on their property. Most people that have hunting dogs, those are expensive dogs. They're taking care of their dogs. They're feeding them. They're watering them. Those dogs are very well cared for. Those aren't the issue that we're having. The issue we're having is the owners that have been here, you know, forever, that say, well, our dogs have always roamed, we're not going to change it. And one thing that was said to me after I had some of my animals attacked by these roaming dogs was that, well, it's your fault because you shouldn't have had your animals out. How come my animals can't be out on my property? Why am I paying for the negligence of somebody else?
The ordinances state that the dog can roam as long as it's on its own property. Right. But these dogs aren't staying on their own property. Dogs don't recognize your property lines. So they're off down the road and coming over to my place and scaring the dickens out of me. So, you know, you can't have it both ways. You either have ordinances and enforce them, or you don't, but somebody's going to start up something if they don't.
Let me say one more thing before I shut my camera off. So let me ask this question. Now, I don't know. Okay, so take it, don't answer me like I'm saying I know this. Okay, now I don't know that they're not enforcing the ordinances. I'm going to respect what you're saying, okay? But wait, let me finish. I don't know that out here today. I don't know that. You're the ones that say that. Now, let me just guess what you're really looking for is, let's say, starters getting the actual job descriptions and everything complete for animal control on file. So whoever's working there, all the descriptions, responsibilities complete. Is that one thing? Yes. Two, the ordinance that is currently on the books of Fannin County Animal Control. Wait a minute, Mr. Bond. You would like to see those enforced as written by the people that are running the animal control. Then that's the first two biggest things you would like to see happen.
To say that all those enforcements or all those laws are what we're looking for, but they have the very minimum, and even the very minimum guidelines are not enforced.
I understand. That's why I didn't ask you about changing them yet, because I'm saying I'm listening to you, and one, first and foremost, your concern that I'm hearing is I haven't looked at the job responsibilities or the file on animal control. So I'm just taking at what you're saying here and the ordinances. So what is the response you get if those are the two? Wait a minute, Mr. Bond, just relax a minute.
There is no response.
There's no, so if you go.
This gentleman here has done a
I've
request
done a
for
lot of
records.
research in this.
I know you have, Mr. Bond, and not no disrespect. That's why I was trying to get some others in here. I know you've done the research. I know very well, and I'm not disregarding your ability to or opportunity to get to say something.
That's the response.
Don't take that wrong, all right?
This is what he's told her.
That was told to me at a meeting that I had with Mr. Helton and Mr. Drulinger on Wednesday. Mr. Helton set the meeting up, and he got up and walked out after 20 minutes. Mr. Drulinger stayed for an additional hour and a half.
Okay.
Mr. Helton flat out
So
told
that's
me
the
I'm
answer
not-
you're getting to your question.
He said, I'm not going to change the
Go ahead,
ordinance,
Mr.
and we're
Bond.
not going to listen to you.
One thing I'd like to say is, number one, they get a report. If they get a report, they're required by their ability to go to the home and check on the report and see what they find. In that I have had 30 times, I'd say, so they come back to you and I've got the pictures and they say everything's okay. They have a document called a problem report. It's an official Fannin County document. They don't fill them out on a regular basis. What they want to do is they want to tell you verbally what they're doing, but they don't want to enforce it in a backup manner, saying, this is what happened, this is the pictures we took, this is what we found. I would challenge you in the media in Fannin County to take it upon yourself to do some investigating reporting on yourself. Go over there to Fannin County Animal Control. Follow them out to a site. See what they're doing. Y'all write what we quote, but you're not doing no investigating reporting. Not to put you on.
No, I understand. I
all
understand that,
of you
Mr. Bond.
know.
I appreciate
It's
that.
just-
All right, wait. I'm gonna have to cut it. You want?
I wanted James to
You want
mention
last
how
word?
Many times he has brought a dire situation to the attention of Fannin County Animal Control, and they say it's an investigation, an open investigation. Well, these open investigations go on for over a year. Nothing is ever resolved because they don't want to do the paperwork, I guess. They're open 3 hours, 9 to noon, Monday through Friday. I've been there and seen them. Yeah.
All right, are you guys all going into the meeting tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll catch up with you there. I don't want. I'm not.
Okay.
I hope I'm not sounding rude, but I got enough.